Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of Woman to Woman. I am your host, Val Devereaux, and I am accompanied by my lovely co-host,
Shall Be True. Thank you for tuning in.
So our first topic for today is going to be maintaining your own identity when in a relationship. All too often, we as women, we tend to lose ourselves when we become in a relationship. This is why I felt like we should make this topic one of importance. When I say that, I mean we become consumed with whoever we're dealing with. Sometimes we hardly communicate with our friends, with our family. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, of course. I've become overconsumed with a relationship before. I definitely agree.
Yeah, so sometimes I understand that, it's because we're dealing with a man who's demanding, he's possessive, but in these situations, we cannot allow him to be this way. When a person is this way, these are the things that we will revert back to episode 2, and we will remember when we're choosing our mate wisely that, we need to cover these things when we are having that discussion, when we even entertaining the idea of becoming exclusive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. We're talking about maintaining our own identity when in a relationship, and so if you missed out over the last few weeks, we've discussed categories such as self-love, which is love for yourself within your relationship. Everything that we're talking about is within a relationship when you're trying to build and grow with the black male, right?
Absolutely.
The following week we discussed choosing our mate wisely, and now we're at the point of maintaining your own identity when in a relationship. So basically, like you were saying, it could be this type of male, or you could have so much love for your relationship, or like we love hard. Like I know as a woman, I really love hard. And so I have had the experience of losing my identity while in a relationship. Have you?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
For sure. It was hard to, work that situation out, but I had to because it caused problems for me. Yeah. Sometimes when men are insecure, they want to consume, everything about you. They don't want you to communicate with other people for fear that they're going to plant seeds in your head, and that, again, goes back to choosing the person you're choosing to deal with, because you got to have a foundation of trust in the first place. If you don't have that, it's no use in even pursuing the matter.
Right.
So, I have an old saying, that some people think the most painful thing in their life is losing the person they value. But in my opinion, the truth is the most painful thing is losing yourself in the process of valuing somebody else.
Speaking about like painful, right? So after being I've been in a relationship, and when it was done, when we broke up, for a moment I did feel like I could not live without. Because I had transformed myself into what I thought was needed in that relationship. And then I formed a bond. But it wasn't the type of bond, like it wasn't a successful or good bond. It wasn't a positive bond. But like it seems like the forces took over me. I was dead for years, So yeah, there are some things, like there are key things that we can try to we'll not lose sight on. Okay, here's some, like, for instance, as women, we like to cook for our men. We make sure, as housekeepers, period, that we cook, we clean. My weight and my diet. If he ate beef, I ate beef. Like, whatever he ate. If he ate at 10 o'clock at night, I ate.
Oh. Okay.
So that's one thing, then that messes with, that ties into your confidence. Things that we are covering on the show all the time. Confidence, number one, don't ever forget that. But that was one thing. My style, or my routines, the way that I used to do things. Like if I was used to filling up my gas tank, he might say, man, just put 10 in there.
And
no.
you do it.
You have to continue to do what you were doing before this person came along, and then you guys, y'all make another you in between, but don't never lose yourself. Like, never forget who you have been for the last however many years you've been that person.
I found it to be a control mechanism. You know, in a relationship that I had, you know, he was an insecure individual, and, you know, he had a fear of other people pointing out his flaws to me. So his way, in his mind, of controlling that was, you know, to limit my interaction with other people. You know, it's like anytime I would tell him, well, I'm going over so-and-so house, you know, well, stay here with me. Watch the game with me. I thought you was going to stay here with me. We was going to kick it tonight. But I'm kicking it with you every night, Ninja. You know what I'm saying? But that was control.
Oh, my God.
You know?
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced that?
Of course. I can identify with that. And, you know, my personality, I tend to be very... the life of the party, I'll say. Mm-hmm. So I definitely had to become quiet and meek, dealing with someone similar to what you know, with a characteristic of what you just said. Yeah, I did. I like basically, like, if we were having dinner, cook the food, serve the food, but don't laugh or don't joke, sweetie. Don't come out the room looking too good. Don't. Yeah, that's just that individual. I know there are still great men out there, but we're just, you know, speaking by experience. Yes, I've done.
And that all goes back to episode 2 when we told you guys about choosing your mate wisely.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a firm believer that, you know, everything that we encounter and that we experience, we have signs. We have red, we have yellow flags, we have red flags, but we choose to ignore those flags. Right. A person don't just out of the blue turn into this monster. Right. You know, they let you know in the door who they are. Right. It's just that we, you know, we so thirsty and we so desperate to have somebody, and we, you know, we just feel so good.
I prayed on it one time, Lord God, let him be the one.
We just decide we just gonna overlook all that, and just go ahead anyway. Yeah, no. So, you know, we end up on the short end of the stick. And you know, that's what we trying to help our sisters and brothers too. We trying to help, you know, people avoid those issues, because at the end of the day, we need to be real with each other.
Yeah, we do.
We do.
I've never been through this, but I've seen, or as a child, actually, I've another way that someone can lose their identity while they're in a relationship. Say you're with someone who doesn't like children, but you have children. I've seen women begin to neglect or try to get rid of their children, like send them over to the babysitter, things like that. Like, we don't want to do that. Don't do that. Continue to love your children, and when he sees your devotion to your, because sometimes women feel like their children run men off. That's a challenge. Yeah, that's a challenge we did. Like,
that goes back to episode 1, loving yourself first.
Loving yourself. Okay, choosing your mate wisely.
Exactly.
If he doesn't care for your offspring, then he doesn't have to become their father.
But they're a part of you,
right? And you should never, neglect your kids or not want to be around your kids for the day just because he was free to kick it or chill or come over and you had kids. Like, you couldn't get a sitter. Like,
see, now that's
family
a deal
night,
breaker.
man.
That's a deal breaker for me.
It better be.
Me and my kids, we a package deal, and I'm not asking you to be their father. They got a father.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if you're going to be a male figure in their household, you're going to be somebody positive in their household. You're going to bring something positive to the table.
Right.
But never am I going to neglect them or put them away, to please you.
Right.
You ain't the one then.
Right. And, meanwhile, your children should know their place, and y'all set that boundary. But definitely, when losing identity, I've seen women almost hate their children because they couldn't get a man. A man, yes, yeah. Yeah.
Now, if you one of those women, listen to me today. You weak as water, okay? You weak.
Whoa. Yep.
I'm keeping it real with you, 100.
Yeah, don't do that.
Because that's flesh of your flesh, blood of your blood.
Right.
And at the end of the day, they supposed to come first. Men come and go. But that's somebody you gave birth to. You brought them here. They ain't asked to come here.
And I'm not beating up on anyone. She has, led and, given life to a family of children, beautiful children that are now adults. I have no children, and I'm still saying these are one of the things that we really need to stop doing when we are you're losing your identity, and your children recognize that. Another way that you can lose your identity is your way of thinking. Like say you're Christian, but you want to, form a union with a Muslim. You might begin to take on his beliefs, knowing what you believe in, what's been instilled in you all this time. And not to say those, but I'm not being literal, but those are examples of your losing your way of thinking, about anything, your personal views. How you feel is very important, and it eventually, at first, when you really like somebody, you try to agree to disagree because everyone is different. But eventually, that can be something that weighs in on you, and you're losing your identity in that way too.
I got a few suggestions of mine, on how not to lose yourself when you're in a relationship, and you tell me if how you feel about it. True. The first one I got is spend time apart. Maintain your relationships with your friends and your family that you had before you met this person. I think we all need time to ourselves, whether it be just to kick it, a spa day, or just some me time. How you feel about that?
Wow. I feel great about that, as you should. I am not against relationships, companionship at all. I promise you I'm not. But I do believe in getting time to yourself, just as much time as you need to bathe, or do your personal, take care of your personal hygiene by yourself. That's that same time that you need for other things, rather it be your haircut, ladies going to the spa. I'm not even going to tell you what it is you need to do. It could even be deciding to sleep in a different bed for the night. You have to get that if you're going to be together for years, because we did come into this world by ourselves, unless you are twins or higher than that. But I believe in time by myself, because being around people all the time, you never have that moment to think and experience you, and then that ties into maintaining your identity.
I believe that. I believe you got to give a person a chance to miss you.
Right.
I feel like, I know for myself personally, when I was in a relationship and the person wanted to be up under me all day, I got tired of that ninja.
Give me some room.
It was like, I would hear him coming on the block. I hear him when he pull up in front of the house. Yeah. And I'd be like, damn, he here. But you know what I'm saying? You have to give each other time to miss each other, so that when you get together, it's better. But if you constantly up under me, I guarantee you, I ain't no expert, but I can tell you from experience, they gonna get on your last nerve, and you gonna get on theirs. You gonna just see every flaw it is. Oh my God, he pick his teeth, he suck his teeth. Oh my God, he burping out loud. Anything, any little thing, it's gonna start irritating your soul.
I wish the listeners could see my face. I'm speechless, because I need everyone to get some space. Please get some space. Even if you still correspond, like through text or call, like just go. Get some room.
Yeah, because it's not, and we as women, we need to understand that what we ask for, we got to be willing to give it to. You can't be insecure. You can't be wondering, where you at every minute of the day, blowing his phone up. If he tell you he going out to kick it with his boys, okay, it is what it is. He gonna hit you eventually. He is. I guarantee you, he gonna hit you. But you can't keep blowing up the phone and texting him. What you doing now? It's the same thing I was doing 5 minutes ago.
Okay. Now, we are going to have a segment all about cheating, but in the meantime, please listen to what she's saying, because no matter how much you do that, they could be standing next to whomever that is and still texting you, so it doesn't matter. Just relax and enjoy your time to yourself, doing whatever it is that you do when he is away. Do not worry about what this individual chose to do in his spare time. Please give him that, especially if you want to be around this person for the rest of your life.
Yeah, that's what we gotta. That's what we have to make our priority.
Right.
You know what happens when we together? How he treat me?
That's it. Like it's so much going on in the world that that's something that that should be the main thing you worried about. You don't have to keep creating situations and worrying about things that just might not even exist.
Yeah, my next suggestion is, make compromises. I feel like in every relationship, when you're involved in a committed relationship, you're going to have to compromise. My only suggestion to you is make sure these compromises aren't one-sided. Make sure that your needs are being met as a person. Don't stop doing the things you like to do. Say, for example, you like to bowl. He don't like to bowl. Don't stop bowling because he don't like to bowl.
You're going to have to bowl, my brother, at least one time.
But if he don't like it, if that ain't his thing, okay, but this my thing. That's what make me feel whole as a person. That's what make me feel happy.
Well, earlier, as I said, sometimes you do agree to disagree. Yeah. So at least, but yeah, don't stop. Don't, like, you're in a bowling league. Don't leave the league.
Exactly. But right. Don't give up the things that you used to do and that you like to do that make you whole as a person. Because if you lacking something in your life, you definitely gonna be lacking something in your relationship. Because you got an emptiness, a void that needs to be filled. And guess what? It ain't gonna be miraculously filled just because you with him.
Life is it's pretty much written, I believe.
So we have to make sure that when we making these compromises, that is like in our early stages when we first entertaining the thought of becoming exclusive. Mm-hmm. Look here, I'm in a league. I bowl on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7 to 9.
Right. Are you ever coming? If not, this is what I'll be doing.
This what I'm doing. But,
I'll send you a picture.
Right, but if he the right person for you, he'll be all on board with that.
Right.
But you got to be on board with it too. If he tell you, I play in the league, we play on Saturday mornings or whenever, you got to be cool with that. But sometimes he can be one-sided or we can be one-sided, and that's not going to lead to a successful relationship. And here we all about trying to help you achieve and maintain that healthy relationship. It can be done. It's not hard. It's not impossible. It take work, but it can be done.
Yeah.
Don't you think so?
Yes.
Oh, she said that too reluctantly.
Yeah. But I'm joking. It can. I've seen it. And if you don't know how, then this is the way we're telling you. Because we do know how to treat a man, and we know what we want and how to get it and how to maintain it. Maintain your identity. Did you have any more suggestions?
Yeah, my final suggestion was to keep yourself focused on your personal goals. If you had personal goals when you met this individual, please stay focused and pursue them at all costs. Okay. Please. I mean, this will force nothing but respect from him. If he sees that you focus, you got your eye on the prize, do not get involved and then just lose sight of that and, I'll get to it eventually. I'll get back to it. No.
Wow.
If he's the one, if he the right one, and that's the one you want, that's the only one you should want, ladies. You should only want the right one for you, because it's your life at the end of the day. Same for you men. You should only want the one who can elevate you, in this life. So, that's the biggest thing to me is maintaining and achieving your personal goals. I know people who were in college, got in a relationship, they stopped going to school, they never got their degree. Never got their degree because this relationship came along and you know, it just everything came to a screeching halt.
They began to live for the relationship.
There you go.
So that's what you said, and my one of my points was your way of living. Same thing. We're definitely on the same page. Your goals, sticking to your goals. Most likely, an individual, even though it could have been is it called a wolf in sheep's clothing? Right. It could have been that, or he could have been, you know, a great guy, just, you know, in period. But one thing that attracted him to you or her to you is the fact that you had goals and ambition and you weren't just sitting on your tail. So don't forget that. Don't get in and then be like, well, okay, so she wants to be a cook, I'm going to go learn how to be a cook. Or if she wants to be a plumber, that's what I'm going to do if he wants to do it or whatever. Don't do that. And another key thing when we say stick to our goals, one thing that is becoming quite common, but it's not okay, is the fact that people are getting into relationships and you had a goal of not having children before the age of 30, yet you have a baby on the way. I'm going to need y'all to stick to the goals that you set for when you wanted to start a family and how. I understand that, you know, accidents happen, true enough, but no, some people get into relationships and all of a sudden if she wanted to have a child or if he wanted to have a child, that's now the goal versus the real goals to live and maintain that healthy lifestyle and that healthy identity. So, yeah, please stop doing that.
That's where that compromise comes in. And that all goes back to choosing that person wisely.
Right.
Because they gotta have, in my opinion, I feel like when I'm looking for somebody, I want somebody who I know is gonna enhance my life. You know how that song like Fabulous say, I'm a movement by myself. I already know that. I'm a movement by myself. Right. But I'm a force when we together, you know. Right. So that's what I'm looking for in my man. Right. You know, and that's what you gotta keep in mind. You gotta keep that in mind. You know, is he going to help me and elevate me to the next level? You know, because I don't need nobody that's gonna bring me down. I don't need nobody gonna stagnate my growth. That's not what this is about. That's not what you're trying to do.
Right. And then when maintaining that identity, I don't want to say waste time, because getting to know someone is not a waste of time, rather it turns out good or bad. But if you see that you are beginning to lose yourself, you do need to take that moment. You know, both of you should make that decision to take that moment and kind of regroup, like see what are you on, what am I on, where is this going, and then like kind of get back to you, and then invite them in. Like you said, if he is into one thing, you're most likely gonna have to try to be into it or whatever. But I've lost myself in a relationship before, so this is just like it's bringing up all these different ways. Like it's resurfacing. Like all of the experiences that I've had where I just wasn't doing anything anymore. Like I had died.
But was he still doing what he was doing?
Yeah, he wasn't.
He ain't miss a beat, did he?
He really wasn't. He wasn't doing squat. Is that what we call it?
But he didn't miss a beat, did he?
No.
He did whatever he wanted to do, right?
And dragged me too.
See,
you know?
That's why we're here today. That's what we're talking about. That's exactly what I don't want us to do as women or men. You know, I'm not excluding the guys. You know, everything that we saying on our show, it goes for women and men. You know, we speaking as women for women because we are women.
Right.
But, you know, everything I want y'all to understand that we bring it to you is definitely, you know, it applies to both sides of the spectrum, you know, male and female. But, you know, I think it's simple. We make it hard. We do. We make it hard. It's real simple. You know, you come to the table. Bam, this is what I'm bringing to the table. This is what I want to do. This is where I'm at. You know, can you deal with it or can you not? what you think about it. What's your thoughts on it?
Right. So now we are at that stage of our personal reflection on the topic, and actually, that's one thing we do. We've told ourselves, and this is probably by watching what we see on television, that we do need to bring everything to the table.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I do it. Hey, I've got this, that. This is what I do in my spare time. How do you like that? Because I like you, and I want you to know everything that I have and whatever. So, personally, that's something that I don't do, because another way to lose your identity is by kind of like putting it out too much. So now I let you learn me in stages. This is the first level of, shall be true, and this is the next level and the next level. So on a personal note, that's just it. I'm learning to chill, like keep you for you, and then come out, gradually. That's where I'm kind of at with
now.
This,
see, that's where you and I are different, because
Okay.
I'm bringing it 100% to the table, because I don't have room.
Okay.
I don't have no room for nonsense. I just don't. I'm at that point in life. Me and True, we in different places in life, but in my place in life, I'm good. I know where I'm at. So for you to come to the table with me, I need to know where you at too.
No.
I'm not trying to make you. I'm not trying to grow you or none of that. We gonna be better together.
No, see, so you're coming from a place of, okay, we finna make this relationship work. I'm not. That was from a place of trying to avoid losing my identity. When we come in like that, that's what happens, because from the door, if whatever he's bringing and blah blah, like coming in strong like that, that's cool. But that's how it happens. If you come in strong, giving your all, then what do you have to pull from?
I'm not gonna give him my all, but I'm gonna lay my cards on the table.
Yeah,
because I feel like I want you to know what's required of you coming in the door. I don't want you to have no question and down the line I don't want you to say, well, I ain't know.
Okay, so you're speaking on what you want from him, and I'm speaking on versus how I'm coming in now to avoid losing myself in the long run. Yeah, okay, I see.
But I would just tell him up front, look, this is what I do on Tuesday and Thursday. I do this from 7 to 9. I don't care what you got going. Don't make it from 7 to 9. Because I'm gonna be over there.
Now this is how I'm coming. Now I'm definitely I'm here's my schedule. What's yours? Because with losing your identity, when you start working around someone else's schedule, that's how it's gonna be. You meet me in the middle. Meet me in the middle. So what you're saying,
for sure. That's what we got to remember.
Yes.
We got to remember, just ladies and gentlemen, remember this. Remember, you got to learn how to be a part of we without losing me. Remember that. That's what you got to do. Because we come together at the end of the day to make each other better. We find somebody and, we vibing and, we make each other laugh and smile. We get along great. Just great chemistry. Yeah. But how do we make each other better? How do we do that?
Is that rhetorical?
How we do that? I mean, we got to think about it. How does this guy make me better in my life?
And if you are changing your identity for him, how is he doing it? Like, if he had a temper, is he working on his temper?
Yeah.
What is he changing to become more like you or make things work for your union? That's a good question.
That's back to that compromise point I made. Yeah.
And back to the fact that I wish we could read minds. That'll make it easier at this point, Lord. It would be a bad thing possibly, but right now it's just like, I'm so tired of trying to figure.
But you know what? I feel like we wouldn't have to do that if people would just be real.
Be real, right? And they're not, because they're
losing
their identities.
Why? Why is that such a challenge for people?
Why is it such a challenge? For years now, if you lie to yourself enough, you believe the lies. Right. So at this point, that's a open-ended.
But you know what? I just feel like as we get older, we're adults. I mean, you know, like there's an old saying, you know, when I was a child, I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put aside childish things and I thought as a man. Same thing for women. You know, when you was a little girl, yeah, you thought like a little girl. But when you're a grown woman, you're supposed to think like a grown woman. You know, we got to learn as people. We got to learn how to be honest with each other.
Right.
And you know, you just try it. If you one of them pathological liars, just try it. And you will find out that the thing goes so much smoother.
I'm very honest because I don't have time to try to keep up with my lies or anything like that. And then I just need you to know that every time I come, I'm coming in the raw. So yeah, expect nothing less.
That's what that's part of the discussion we need to be having.
Yeah.
You know, when we getting together, you know, don't just get together based off, you know, physical intimacy. You know, some of us I know people that done got sprung on strippers. I mean, come on, that's a stripper. That's what she do. That's how she make her money. That's
Jason.
You know, that's how they make their money. What you think she gonna do? She gonna make you feel like you wanna feel to get that paper.
Goofball.
You know, let us not get caught up in physical intimacy. Let us keep ourselves grounded and let us think. Let us think. You know, we are brilliant people. We are. We're not numbskulls. You know, we're not idiots.
Right.
You know, regardless to what the people say. You know, we are brilliant, you know, so let us keep that up front, you know, when we having that discussion, you know, well, you know, we want to get together. Okay, so what you expect of me? What are your expectations of me?
That's something that I do ask. That's a conversation that we have right off the back because I do need to, it's an invisible contract. What are you looking for? What do you want? You know, and then I tell you what my identity is. I do.
So what do they say, like, when you ask them that? What are some of the things you've been told?
Oh, outlandish things, first of all. They'll tell you the marital status. Hey, this is what I got going on. I mean, I need a woman that is not going to catch feelings. Or I've heard it all. Like,
Really?
Yes. So, and then ladies, you know what individuals ask you to put up with, or you have those that are not real, as we said, and don't tell the truth about it. So,
I found that to be a big thing with me. You know, guys would tell me one scenario, but it was totally another. And you know, that's my biggest pet peeve is somebody not being honest with me. Don't, you know, be honest. Be honest with me. You know, don't come in the door insulting my intelligence and telling me it's this when it's really that. You know, I've had people come into my life and like, look, you know, I'm going through a divorce and, you know, we ain't together. We don't talk none of that. And it's the total damn opposite. You know, you insulting my intelligence now because you know I'm the FBI, CIA. I'm finna investigate. You know, I'm going to find out what you're doing, how you're doing, and who you're doing it with.
Yeah.
So, you know, be mindful of that. You know, keep that in your head. You know, in conclusion on, you know, this subject, I'm just going to say we should all make it a priority to maintain our own identity as a person. You know, I think that when we do this will make us happier. It will make us feel more complete as a person, therefore giving you a stronger sense of intimacy, love, and passion in your relationship. Would you agree, True?
Yes, I do. When you come together to form a relationship, you are a team. So also, when maintaining that identity, you should also look into your spouse or the one that you choose to be with, and make sure that he's the same too. If you notice that he's changing, say something, and y'all work towards that. So yeah.
Yeah, because you know, at the end of the day, that's why y'all getting together. Because you know, you see somebody, at least for me, you know, I look somebody, you know, they strong where I'm weak. Because you know, I'm an introvert. So I would need an an extrovert
Right.
to be my mate, because I need somebody to be like my barrier between me and people.
Right, because nobody's saying become conjoined twins.
Right.
You guys, yeah.
Yeah, y'all should compliment one another.
Right,
So
right.
like, I'm an
Complete each
introvert,
other.
so if he a people person, that's who I need right there.
Right.
Because he's my buffer.
Right.
Because he know I don't want
Right.
to mess with people.
Right.
I'm gonna sit in the background. He can introduce him. Hey, this my wife or whatever. And I'm like, hey.
Right.
But he the one who gonna sit up and chop it up with y'all, but not
Right.
me.
Right.
At the end of the day,
But
I'm
we
gonna be
complete
sitting
each
back.
other
Yeah.
because he's talking to y'all. Meanwhile, I made the collard greens that everyone's enjoying.
Yeah,
at the dinner.
but I'm not.
Right.
I ain't finna mess with y'all.
Right,
like
ain't got
that.
nothing to say. Yeah, I made the greens. Yeah.
Exactly. So we're gonna move on to our next segment in our show.
Okay. Well, last week I did call it healthy mind. Things are going to be under construction, but it's okay as we build and grow within our show. So the next segment is staying in control of mind, body, and soul. This is broke down into 3 categories: mind, which is for the mental health; body, which is for your physical health; and then beauty tips or whatever you need. We're going to cover that somewhere throughout the show. And soul, you overall, your inner being. So today, the idea for a healthy mind, or for clearing thoughts or whatever you have going on, my quote is, "An idle mind is the devil's workshop." And when we sit and we get caught up in our thoughts, or we just blank out, those are some of the worst times, and you want to stray from that, because even in a relationship, you can get quiet and all of a sudden you think about something that he did or she did, and all of a sudden you are now arguing about something that you just sat around and thought about. Mental health is very important, and for those of you who don't know the meaning of mental health, I'm going to inform you now. It's a person's condition with regard to their psychological and emotional well-being. It's your brain, as I said weeks ago, is at the top of your body in the first place. But so that's that. And so how an idle mind can be a bad thing. I've sat idle sometimes, and I begin to reminisce or think about maybe somebody that owes me money, somebody that crossed me. It doesn't have to be a negative thing. You might sit and have an idle mind and then go spend too much money. So that's something that we want to pay attention to for our mental health. So
now that's my poison.
Right. What?
Spending money.
Spending money. And then your mind is idle,
shoes
right?
and purses. I got shoes and purses I ain't never worn. Never carried them.
She has a room for them.
I got a walk-in closet with shoes I ain't never
everywhere.
worn.
Okay.
Purses, but that was my emotional, spending.
Right. Okay. Right. Okay. So some of the things, or you've had. Okay. First of all, I'll ask you: have you ever done anything that maybe was unhealthy for your mental while in the state of having an idle mind?
Yeah, I had thoughts about busting out windows.
Okay.
Flattening tires.
Okay. Right. Okay. Right.
putting antifreeze places where it didn't belong.
Yeah. Hey, listen, y'all.
Yeah, I've been there, done that.
Okay. Yeah.
Because when you got time to think, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'll reiterate.
The mind is something else.
And idle mind is the devil's workshop once again. So some of the ways to avoid that idle mind, because when in that relationship, when you have lost your identity, you sit around a lot. Like if he leaves home, you're sitting at the window waiting at the door until he comes back.
Wondering where he at, what he doing.
Right. Stop playing. Whatever your hobbies are, like, get some hobbies. A lot of the time, we don't want to tap into other things that we could do. We just want to be on social media or something like that, surfing through something, looking through someone else's info, or checking out someone else. When our minds are
Let's go take a walk.
Right, like do something, expand your mental, expand your physical being, get out, like, and that was one of the things I have on the list. You should exercise, maybe download some games, begin to read again, maybe write, or just simply go play with your children. I know some women have children, I don't, I'll state that again, but just go do something, whatever that could be. Go cook, go try a new recipe, go call your mom, go fishing. I don't care what it is.
YouTube. You can find a million things on YouTube.
Right, and positive things. Don't YouTube the hood girl fights, but even if that helps you, if you're angry at that time, I guess whatever keeps you from going to do something that is unhealthy to your mental, or thinking about things that are unhealthy, that don't really entice your mind and promote growth mentally. What else do I have here? Oh, okay. So body, mind, body, and soul. Right. Okay. So for the body, the next thing I wanted to talk about. Now, when I speak about body, that's your outer shell. And a lot of the times I do see people losing confidence, which you should have come into your relationship with. And that's an identity. Okay. Your confidence. And so physically, when you see the different trends and different things you want to buy, question yourself. Does your personal spending towards libations, partying, and traveling exceed the amount that you put towards maintaining the best you physically? What I mean by that, are you going out to eat, weekly or whatever, very often, versus paying for a week of food at home? Like that's one example. Like, you got to put in the importance of things on a scale, okay? Or like, maybe are you spending and this is some real stuff I'm about to say to the listeners. Are you spending about $30-$40 on smokes, weed, cigarettes, whatever it may be, alcohol, 3 times a week, versus keeping a decent wardrobe? Or like, they're like for instance, your shoes may be worn out, all type of things that are messing with your confidence, like things that you're lacking.
Yeah.
Like, when it
invest in yourself.
Right, invest in self is basically what I'm saying. Like, sometimes realize, man, if I could go buy this bottle, $45 bottle, why didn't I go buy myself a dress and some shoes, or whatever, or something that my children needed, whatever it may be. Like, we definitely need to stay in tune with our physical being. And do you struggle with that, being a shopaholic? Like, do you, or do you know, have you seen, anything you can relate to?
No, I've seen people who struggle with it. I don't per se, because
Right.
my philosophy is I'm going to treat myself. I'm not going to cheat myself.
Treat yourself, don't cheat yourself.
Right.
You heard it here first.
I feel like I only have one life to live, and I'm going to try to live it to the fullest. If I see it, and if it's within reach, I'm going to reach for it. And, I'm not going to sit up and say, oh, I can't do that. That's not who I am as a person. And if I see something that I want, and it's just not within my reach right now, you best believe I'm finna grind until I can get it.
Right. Speaking of grinding, I know, I agree. I get what I want.
Yeah.
There's nobody that's really going to give you what you want without it being contingent, most likely. And that's just part of the human, personality, where that will happen.
That's just how it goes, the cycle of life.
Right. I'm going to want something for my something. But, when it comes down to grinding, now I know there are a lot of people out here that are listening, like, man, well, maybe I get tore up. I drink, I smoke, I do this, I put this first because, man, I'm gonna go crazy if I don't. That's fine, but like, if you're at the point where you just don't know what to do, like when it comes down to earning money or having that drive, I also suggest that in your spare time, when you're trying not to have an idle mind, this all ties in together. Tap into some of those work by app jobs. Please also search Indeed.com. This is just a little advice to us women who are, I see it a lot, and I do talk about y'all. I laugh at y'all when I see, the hideous things that women, the hideous ways that women prefer to look versus what they could be if they invested in themselves.
But you know what? I gotta say this.
What?
Though. We have to be realistic.
Okay.
We got to know everything ain't for everybody. Do you agree?
Do I agree? Agreeing would be an understatement. I'm tired of it. Like flipping on your sister's stuff. Whatever y'all doing out here, invest in yourself.
You see Beyonce with something on, you know doggone well you a size 18, 20. You can't wear what Beyonce wear.
Right. But it's cheap.
It's
so,
not for,
yeah.
you know, you got to keep things in perspective.
Yeah.
When you see these hairstyles on a hair show, keep in mind that's a hair show.
Yeah.
That's an exhibition.
Right.
I'm a licensed cosmetologist. I had a beauty shop. I would go to these hair shows in Atlanta,
Yeah.
the Bonner Brothers hair show. You got to know that is not for everybody. That ain't for everyday wear.
Right.
So when you going on this job interview, you looking like Bozo's sister. And
Bozo
then,
had a sister?
Yeah, you know he got one when you come in that job interview with that red hair. You know. And you know, these people don't give you the job and now you feeling bad about yourself.
Right. Red hair, green hair, gray
You know,
hair. Cut it.
Come on now, cut it. You got to cut it.
Invest in yourself, Annie. If it meant, and that's another thing, going back to the things that we don't need. If getting the job meant that you chose black hair over green hair today, please make that choice. It's a one-time investment to your future.
That's my old philosophy. You get one chance
Yes.
to make a first impression.
Right, and this is
one chance. You only gonna get one chance. You gonna get one interview. They ain't gonna call you back if you come in there with this green hair, this gray hair.
Right, and
you 23 and you got a head full of gray hair. Come on now.
Right, and you're not a swamp monster. It's cute for a photo shoot, but I'm just trying to really. When we speak about the body, we're talking about mind, body, and soul.
Yeah.
Get back into the normal you if it betters you. Okay,
Wear
stop
what compliments you.
Right, stop putting trends and things like that. The money, those people that throw money and do the people in the videos with the actual green hair, they have the money to do that. You're looking at them and you're idolizing them.
You are not Cardi B.
Right, you're not.
You ain't her.
Right. And you have to take care of yourself because you're on the outside of that TV screen, okay? Okay, those are just some things that I thought about: body, image, and confidence, and how to keep yourself up. And this all ties into self-love. This ties into choosing your mate wisely because they need to be a image of you. When you see me, you see him and vice versa.
Yeah,
so keep it up.
And we compliment each other.
Right, absolutely, we do. How do you better me?
Exactly.
Right, what
you make me better.
Right, absolutely.
There you go.
For us when we're together. I heard
look.
you. Okay. The next thing is how to keep control. Well, how to be in control of your soul. Okay, that's mind, body, and soul. One thing I've been struggling with is dwelling. Dwelling is basically when you talk about or think about something very often, mainly the unpleasant thoughts. It's okay to dwell on your dreams as long as you are working towards making them happen, like, actually taking those steps to fulfill your dreams. The side effects of dwelling, you will build a hate or like a resentment towards the situation. Dwelling could be, I've already called you to vent about something, but days later I'm still talking about it.
The same thing.
You have to let that go. Just like the day, you can never get that day back. You have to let go of these situations. Now, we know it's not that simple. We already know people got finances and love and kids and children and all type of things tied up in situations, but we're talking about the little things that you can't let go of. It's so unhealthy to your soul to dwell. Have you ever dwelled and it consumed you?
I have, and you know this as my best friend.
I didn't want to say nothing. careful out there.
But we gonna keep it real. We gonna keep it 100.
Whoever you are, you better hope she stops dwelling. That's your ass.
But I did, because my thoughts had got so deep that it was dangerous.
Yeah.
It was dangerous.
Yeah.
So as my best friend, you already know.
I do know, yeah.
I was really, really, really dwelling on this situation because I was engaged to be married to somebody, and they betrayed me, and it took me a minute to let it go.
Yeah.
And it cost me 15 pounds. I'm keeping it 100 with y'all.
Yeah.
I was like, how R. Kelly say you can't eat, you can't sleep.
Without you in my
That was
life.
me. I couldn't eat. I didn't want nothing to eat. I couldn't sleep. All I was seeing was red. I was like, murder, murder, murder.
She buzzed 2 speakers on my cell phone from my earpiece yelling.
I'm like,
I get it.
I dwelled on it. I just couldn't let it go. It took me, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
It took me about 14 days. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. It took me about 14 days. But it was a deep situation. It was a deep situation. I was engaged to be married to this ninja.
That was a long 14 days.
It was long.
It felt like a month.
Because I was like, oh, wee.
Yeah.
All I was thinking about was Murder, Inc.
Yeah. And when it comes to dwelling, I've done that to the point where I've actually decided to get up and get my revenge. And as I said, if you're dwelling on your dreams and hoping to fulfill them, then you should be taking those steps. That should make you get up in the morning. But we're talking about the things that we want to avoid. Okay,
you can't dwell. It's unhealthy. It's unhealthy,
right.
and it's not good for you. It can land you in the penitentiary, and we don't want nobody to go there.
Right, we really don't, because you can end up there. You like, say for instance, if someone owes you some money, and you were fine until all of a sudden you found yourself in a financial situation where I need my money back. So now you're thinking about everybody that owed you money, even if it is an ex, and then you see him on Facebook taking somebody out to lunch. Mm-hmm. I cannot shake the thought, right? And not literally me, but I'm just giving you an example of dwelling. And now you're up. Now you know what restaurant they're at, so you're at the front of that restaurant and you're outside trying to fight, and then all of a sudden, dwelling costs you more than the money that he owed you, because now you've
you know what? I'm gonna keep it real, which is true. I'm gonna keep it real.
She's looking dead at me, y'all.
I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm dealing with some dwelling right now, baby.
And that's the value of this show.
A ninja owed me some money. And baby, I'm telling you, I'm about two steps away from calling Judge Mathis.
And whoever you are, now, and that's one thing when it goes back to like keeping your identity.
Yeah,
I still want my money.
I want my coins.
I want my money. Don't get it twisted.
Run that.
Right, definitely.
I don't care what's happening, what you're going through.
Right. But she still is in the midst of that situation where she's dwelling.
Now.
Like we said, we're everyday black women in the real world.
Yeah.
And so even in the midst of her dwelling, she's still getting money. She's still moving forward. Most of us dwell and we fall into a dark spot.
Yeah.
Don't do that. No, hey, I can't let it go. It's in my head now. But in the meantime, in between time, still maintain, still move forward and handle things properly. She could have gotten her money back from other ways, from like doing things to him, slashing tires, busting. But I could have got that money out of that butt, as they can say.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to curse, so y'all get it. But yeah, she could have done other things, but instead she's on chill mode, and we gonna handle you in the court or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
That you have to do.
I want Judge Mathis to ask this ninja, are you high?
And Judge Mathis is going to do that. He can identify someone that's high from the stand.
Like, ask this ninja. Ninja, you got this lady's money?
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
I dwell too. We call it a daydream. Like oh my God. I wish that I could take my brain out and like for a few minutes.
But don't you think that's dangerous?
What, to take my
Dwelling.
brain out?
No, to dwell.
Absolutely. That's why that's the category of controlling your soul, because dwelling can take over your soul. I have premonitions all the time of things that I want to do, and I need y'all to hear me. If you know me personally, get right with me, because I sometimes tend to be, when you dwell, you become unstable. You really need to let it go. you do. Are you serious? You don't have any time?
I know.
And I'm talking to y'all because I know it's some of y'all out there right now dwelling. Let it go. Please take control over your soul. Laugh at that individual. Laugh at those people.
Yeah, it's not worth your freedom.
It really is not worth your freedom. It's not worth anything. I'm sorry.
It ain't worth your freedom.
It's not worth it. Like, you got to stop dwelling, because also you could be thinking about other things. Meanwhile, you're thinking about such and such and whoever, but they're doing whatever they're doing. Yeah. And that's what helped me. I used to be a dweller. Like, I dwell. As most of us do.
Like, I can't believe.
Right.
What?
Right. And I'll talk to anybody that will listen. I'll talk about it for hours, and then still there's no resolution to that, because you're dwelling, but they're moving forward, or the situation is just dead. You gotta let it go. And that's
you do.
Yeah, that's pretty much
phenomenal
for the soul. Yeah, so
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Do you have a final thought on that, True?
Yeah. Basically, so we have now covered mind, body, and soul. Different ways to stay in control. As far as my final thoughts for the entire show, when maintaining that identity in your relationship, just continue to be you, as long as it's not stunting the growth of your relationship or your friendship, whatever you have going on. Please, once again, stop dwelling. Get out here and try to make something for yourself, as well as your family, your mate, all of that. That's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, oh wow, that was a very good segment. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
it was much needed. I feel like, sisters and brothers alike should really appreciate that input. Because we as people, we need that. We don't have anybody who speaks for us, about us. It's like everybody judges us, everybody got their opinions of us, but they don't live in our shoes, they don't live in our world.
Right.
They don't they don't know what we face on a day-to-day basis. They stripped us of all they could. They took our culture, our language, but we still, in the words of Maya Angelou, we rise.
Yes.
We make it.
We rise.
We keep doing the thing.
Right.
And that's what amazes them. That's what's got them baffled. How do these ninjas still
baffled? Okay.
And like how they still, we did everything we do, they still doing. They still there.
Right.
Yeah. We still here. Yeah. We gonna be here. Yeah. And that's what we trying to do with Woman to Woman. We gonna always uplift.
Right.
Enhance. We always gonna, help our brothers and our sisters, because we want you to maintain. We want you to achieve, first of all. Achieve.
Right. And then maintain, because you have to achieve to maintain. Right.
A perfect, just not perfect, but, a positive, healthy relationship. We want us to love one another. In conclusion, I want to let you guys know that Woman to Woman is a part of NMG Network, a division of NMG Enterprises, LLC. It drops every Wednesday on SoundCloud for now, but we have other streaming platforms coming soon. And also, if you have any questions or comments or topics that you want us to discuss on air, feel free to email us at woman773@gmail.com. Also, you can text us or call us at 1-872-307-3828. and say your comment or your question is for the Woman to Woman podcast. In love and peace, we want to wish you all health and happiness.
Shall be true. I would like to thank you for tuning in.
And I am your host, Val Devereaux. Stay safe and peace be unto you.